Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into some pretty interesting stuff today about a hockey player named Dylan Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he's really found his groove with the St. Louis Blues after his time with the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple articles here, one from The Athletic, and then another one looks like from a podcast, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, called What Chaos. And basically we're going to kind of look into did the Oilers miss out on a rising star here?
Yeah.
What does this whole thing say about opportunity and development for young players in pro hockey?
Right.
So let's start with the obvious stuff. Holloway's numbers in St. Louis are pretty impressive, right?
Oh, yeah. He's putting up some serious points, like 15 goals and 32 points in just 44 games.
Wow.
Which is, putting him pretty high up there among the Blues forwards. And he seems to have found a really good connection on that second line with Braden Shen and Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah, it's like he's second among forwards in goals and third in points. So clearly making an impact.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
But, then you think back, this is a guy who was drafted 14th overall by the Oilers in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the talent was there. What happened in Edmonton?
Well, it seems like, from these articles that it's kind of familiar story for a lot of young players coming up.
Right.
They talked about some positional changes, maybe not enough consistent time in the AHL to really develop his game. Yeah, and then, of course, he had that wrist surgery, which always throws things off. It kind of feels like they were trying to figure out where he fit, but in the meantime, he wasn't getting that consistent experience he needed to really blossom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you throw in that offer sheet from St. Louis, 2 years, $2.29 million per year average.
Ooh, that's a good chunk of change.
Got to be a tough decision for a young guy.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he was with the Oilers for their Stanley Cup run.
Right.
They came so close, 2 shots away from winning it all.
Can you imagine the emotions?
Yeah.
Getting that close and...
Yeah, and that camaraderie you build in a playoff run like that.
Exactly. It's such a powerful thing, especially for a young player. That feeling of belonging, contributing to something historic, it really leaves a mark.
And he even talked about that on the What Chaos podcast.
Yeah.
He said things felt different with the Oilers after that season ended.
Really?
Yeah, maybe the team shifted their focus away from developing younger players.
I mean, that happens, right?
Right.
It's that classic dilemma for teams, win now with your established core or invest in the future. Sometimes those goals don't really line up.
Yeah, for the team and the player.
Exactly. It can be tough.
Yeah, and speaking of tough decisions, apparently this St. Louis offer sheet wasn't the only one Holloway was looking at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the articles mentioned that the Calgary Flames were interested too.
Oh, wow.
Now, for anyone who's not a diehard hockey fan, explain that rivalry. What would that have meant?
Okay, so think about the most intense rivalry you can think of in any sport.
Mm-hmm.
And then, multiply that by 10. That's the Oilers and the Flames. It's like a battle for bragging rights for all of Alberta, Clash of styles, a ton of history. If Holloway had gone to Calgary, well, let's just say the hockey world would be a very different place right now.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
So it really makes you think about all the what-if moments in a player's career.
Oh, for sure.
So much of it seems to be finding the right fit, the right system, the right coach who believes in you, and it seems like Holloway finally found that.
Yeah, and that's huge. His story shows that sometimes you got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward.
Absolutely, but it's a risk.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it's not just talent either, It's about mental resilience, the ability to adapt, and let's face it, a little bit of luck never hurts.
True.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder about all the other players who might be stuck in systems that don't quite work for them.
Oh, yeah, buried in the depth chart, unrealized potential.
It's like a whole hidden world out there.
Absolutely.
And Holloway's story is a great reminder that sometimes the change of scenery can make all the difference.
Totally agree. It also makes you think what else besides pure skill separates the players who make it from those who don't.
Ooh, that's a good one. Lots to think about there.
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely more to success in pro sports than meets the eye. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Anytime. It was fun.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.